The Jones family's long-simmering resentment has finally erupted, and there's no turning back this time. Everyone on set was stunned when Chrissy Lampkin lost it on Mama Jones while the cameras were rolling. What began as a serene discussion on family loyalty soon turned into one of the most violent altercations ever captured on reality television. In a matter of seconds, the entire room descended into chaos as accusations flew and voices rose. Production-related sources claim that Chrissy felt deceived and was certain that Mama Jones had been weakening her connection with Jim covertly for months. And Chrissy didn't hold back when the truth was eventually revealed. According to insiders, she got up, smashed down her glass, and said things that left everyone dumbfounded. Jim even attempted to step, but couldn't get the storm under control. This is where things become even more bizarre. Though, Mama Jones, allegedly, made a startling call following the confrontation that had the potential to ruin everything Chrissy had spent years creating. Even though the video hasn't been shown yet, word is getting out quickly. What actually transpired that day between Mama Jones and Chrissy? And is this the point at which the family is irreversibly split apart? The evening began peacefully. Almost too peacefully. Lights were turned down, cameras were positioned, and production anticipated another informal setting for a family meal. However, nobody could have foreseen how quickly things would go out of control. When Chrissy entered, she was well-groomed, self-assured, and obviously burdened by something she had been suppressing for a long time. Mama Jones had already. She was seated, and although her tone was initially kind, there was a hint of anxiety. Only those who have experienced years of family strife would be able to identify it. Chrissy sat down and hardly looked at him. The atmosphere was tense. The enthusiasm was palpable. Change, even before a single word was uttered. Mama Jones has been criticizing Chrissy's decisions, attitude, and relationship with Jim for years. Chrissy had always made an effort to maintain her dignity, but now she appeared to be a lady who had had enough of being courteous. The talk began modestly. Mama Jones mentioned the recent changes, Jim's seeming aloofness, and Chrissy's decreased visits. "You really want to go there?" Chrissy said, chuckling briefly. "Maybe he's distant because he's tired," she replied, leaning forward. "Of being in the middle, Mama." That one word, Mama, carried a lot of love and suffering. Mama Jones arched an eyebrow, obviously annoyed. "I apologize. I am not an outsider. I am his mother. Don't approach me with that mindset." Chrissy remained unflinching. "And the person who has been keeping him down for all these years is me, his girlfriend. However, you never seemed to be satisfied with it." There was silence at the table. Behind the cameras, even the producers ceased whispering. Mama Jones shook her head and leaned back. "Do you believe that I'm the issue? You still don't have a ring after more than 10 years of playing house with my son. Before you blame me, perhaps take a look in the mirror." That line struck like a slap. Chrissy, she inhaled deeply, trying not to react, but her hands were shaking. "Do you know what's amusing? You pull him back 2 steps every time we move forward. You want him to always remain your little guy? You don't want him to mature and lead a normal life." Mama Jones's voice became assertive. "I want my son to be content, and he would have married you long ago if he truly wanted you that way. Don't put that on me." That was all. When Chrissy lost her temper, everyone was startled as she slapped her hand on the table. "You are not allowed to discuss my connection in that manner. He's been under your control for years, and he's too afraid to tell you to quit." Jim's name came up, and Mama Jones lost all composure at that point. "You have no right to include my son in this. That boy was reared by me. For him, I gave up everything. Do you really believe that you can enter and pretend that you know him better than I do?" Chrissy got to her feet. "I don't believe I am more familiar with him. I do because I was present when you weren't. Even though I witnessed him at his worst, I chose not to leave." With her chair scratching the floor, Mama Jones stood as well. The two women were now face to face. The room echoed with voices. It was too late when Jim's cousin attempted to intervene. The dispute had become intensely passionate, unvarnished, and personal. Unspoken animosity that had been building for years rose to the surface. "You've always looked down on me," Chrissy yelled as tears welled up in her eyes. "Eyes," Mama Jones retorted. "You've treated me like I'm some stranger trying to steal your son. You entered here with the intention of controlling the situation. You have no regard for my family or my customs." Chrissy gave a bitter laugh. "Reverence, I have never been respected by you. You've told others I wasn't worthy of him and called me every derogatory name behind my back. However, you know what? I was his choice, not you." The final statement struck a deep chord. Mama Jones's expression briefly froze before becoming icy. She responded softly, almost in a whisper. "You think you can replace me?" However, the words were powerful. With her eyes flaming, Chrissy stepped closer and said, "You'll never be his mother. Never. Perhaps it's time you quit pretending to be his wife, even though I don't want to be." Everything began with that line. Mother Jones gasped and pushed her chair back, preparing to leave. Chrissy wasn't finished, though. With years of pain seeping out of her voice, she followed her. "You claim to be faithful, but since the beginning, you have worked to destroy our relationship. You run to him and tell him how I'm taking advantage of him after grinning in my face. Since you are..." Mama Jones screamed, "Do you want the lifestyle, the fame, or the name?" "Girl, I can see right through you." Chrissy responded with a yell. "I desired him. That's all. However, that might be too much for you." Crew members attempted to intervene at that time, but both women surged past them. The yelling descended into mayhem. A chair overturned, drinks spilt, and the production had to end the scene early. Jim wasn't even present. Unaware of the explosion taking place inside, he was outside talking on the phone. Everything froze when he entered. Chrissy was trembling and had angry eyes as she stood there. Mom Jones's hands were shaking, her cheeks flushed, and she was whispering to herself. Jim's voice was low but deadly serious as he glanced from one to the other. What on earth took place in this place? Neither of the women responded. There was a heavy hush, and the harm had already been done. "You deal with your little girlfriend. I'm done," Mama Jones said, grabbing her handbag and storming out. Chrissy sat back down, trying not to cry. "She hates me," she said. Jim rubbed his temples and moaned. "She's always hated me." Chrissy didn't trust him when he said, "She doesn't hate you, Chrissy. She just doesn't know how to let go." She gazed at the door that Mama Jones had entered. Out of her visage, shifting from anguish to resolve. "No," she murmured. Nobody realized at the time that Mama Jones wasn't finished either. She's not going to keep controlling this family anymore. She made a phone call that evening that would create shockwaves through the whole family. A call that would reveal secrets no one anticipated. The fallout started the following morning. Whispers about a huge altercation that occurred while filming were already circulating on social media. A little audio sample has been released by someone in development. A chair scraping the floor and Chrissy shrieking were audible. Fans were analyzing every sound within hours, attempting to ascertain the true nature of her relationship with Mama Jones. In the meantime, there was complete quiet inside Jim's home. At the kitchen counter, Chrissy was browsing through. She shook her head and picked up her phone. Things took an unexpected turn later that afternoon. Mama Jones made the decision to go live on Instagram, something she didn't often do unless she had a message to share. She was sitting on the couch with a glass of wine while wearing her trademark fur coat. Her voice was sharp but quiet. "I'm not one to bring family business to the internet," she said. "But since people want to talk, let's talk. I've been treated disrespectfully in my own face and inside my own family by someone who believes she is in charge. I raised my son from nothing, gave him everything, and I'll be damned if I let some woman come in and tear us apart." The comment section erupted right away, and fans were split. Some supported Mama Jones, claiming she was only being protective, while others criticized her for being domineering. Respect goes both ways, one fan wrote. Another commented, "Chrissy has been riding for Jim since day one, but Mama Jones wasn't finished. And let me make this clear," she said, looking directly into the camera. "You have another option if you believe you can enter a family and treat the mother disrespectfully. Anything upcoming. How long you've been here doesn't matter to me. Blood is blood." Blog posts such as Mama Jones sends warning to Chrissy in Love and Hip Hop family war gets messy swamped every gossip page within minutes. Chrissy witnessed everything. The light on her phone would not go off. Breathing heavily, she slammed it down. She whispered, "She's doing this on purpose. She's trying to paint me as the bad guy." Jim entered just as she stated it. "Did you witness the live event?" Silently, he inquired. Chrissy gave a nod. "Yes, I did see it. The entire globe witnessed it." Jim let out a sigh. "Chrissy, she's hurt. Both of you said things that are irreversible." With a shaky voice, Chrissy turned on him. "No, Jim," she made statements. "I stood up for myself. I've been suppressing it for far too long." With a look of frustration on his face, Jim stroked the back of his neck. "Face, I have to stop doing this. It gets worse every time I try to make things right between you two." Chrissy softened a little. "Jim, then give up attempting to fix it. Let her continue to be angry. I'm done being cautious." 2. Put her at ease. Mama Jones went even farther that evening. Insiders claim that she called one of Jim's business associates, who was close to the pair, and began disclosing personal information about their relationship that was never supposed to be shared. She stated Jim's money has been under Chrissy's hands. She is making all the decisions and excluding family members from business transactions. According to one source, the gossip went viral. All of a sudden, it was more than a family dispute. It was developing into a major controversy. Chrissy was furious when she learned. She said, "Jim, she's dragging me through the mud now. She's trying to ruin me." Jim gave her a helpless expression. "I'll talk to her." Nonetheless, Chrissy gave a head shake. "No, I'll speak with her directly." The following day, Chrissy was followed by cameras when she arrived at Mama Jones's home. Even before she got out of the car, you could sense the tension. For a while, she stood at the door, inhaled deeply before knocking. With a chilly expression, Mama Jones gently opened the door. "It's you, I see." Chrissy remained calm. "We must speak." For what reason did Mama Jones cross her arms? What you had to say the other night was already said. Nevertheless, Chrissy went inside. "No, please listen to me." Despite rolling her eyes, Mama Jones did not intervene. With the exception of the sound of a wall clock ticking away, the air was dense and quiet. At last, Chrissy spoke in a firm although hushed voice. I don't want to fight. I'm here to tell you that I adore Jim and that I'm sick of being blamed for the breakdown of your relationship with him. Mama Jones scoffed. The cause is you. Since your arrival, things haven't remained unchanged. He used to give me daily calls, used to frequently visit. I have to compete for his attention now. Because he's grown, Chrissy's voice cracked a little. He is no longer that young lad, Mama. You should be pleased that he's starting a life. Mama Jones turned her head away. You don't comprehend. You have no idea what it's like to raise a son by yourself. To see him transform into a man, then have a woman enter and assume control. Chrissy grew softer. You're correct. Although I'm not familiar with such suffering, I do understand what it's like to love someone who is experiencing conflict. Mama Jones remained silent for a moment. Her pride kept her barrier up, but her countenance softened a little. Chrissy moved in closer after she stated, you should have come to me with respect, not attitude. Respect is reciprocated. I can't continue to be loving to someone who is constantly attempting to harm me. Once more, the tension was high. Neither wanted to concede, but neither wanted to acknowledge the intensity of the suffering. Mama Jones turned away at last. Perhaps all we need is room. With tears in her eyes, Chrissy nodded. Perhaps, yes, we do. Cameras saw Chrissy wiping her face and mumbling, I'm done fighting for peace, as she left the house. However, just when it appeared like things might calm down, a fresh leak surfaced online. Private video from the evening of their altercation, and it was more than just shouting this time. It captured the instant Chrissy surged forward, nearly hitting Mama Jones and knocking a glass off the table. The blogs went crazy. The network became terrified, and Mama Jones, she got the advantage at last. The internet was completely on fire by the following morning. Every major gossip blog, fan forum, and Twitter feed had seen the released video of Chrissy lunging towards Mama Jones. The trending hashtag was hashtag Chrissy vs Mother Jones. Everywhere, the blogosphere didn't refrain. Chrissy Lampkin goes off on Jim Jones' mother. Violent family feud caught on camera was one headline. Chrissy sat silently in her flat while her phone lit up with constant notifications. As she skimmed over the comments, her face was pale and her hands trembled a little. Some strangers called her nasty, toxic, and ungrateful, while others defended her, claiming Mama Jones had pushed her too far. It made no difference. The harm was already done. It's bad, Jim whispered quietly as he entered, putting his phone down on the counter. They're saying the network's reviewing the footage. He said, Mona is not content. Chrissy did not raise her head. That's it. Now, I'm the bad guy. Jim took a seat next to her. Chrissy, you know how this works. The truth doesn't matter on the internet. All they want is a tale. Chrissy's voice cracked. However, Jim, this is more than a tale. This is our family. Your mother. How can we overcome this? Jim remained silent. He examined, worn out, like a man trapped between two flames that are blazing at both ends. I spoke with my mother. Chrissy's head jumped up as he finally continued. She's hurt, but she's milking it. She said she's thinking about doing a TAL interview. What? Yeah, sighed Jim. Chrissy got up and paced the room, saying, some network already reached out. They want her side of the story. Jim, she understands that she is attempting to destroy me. She knows they'll believe her because of what the internet is like, Jim said, rubbing his temples. She believes that you treated her disrespectfully in public. She won't simply let that go, you know. Chrissy became frustrated instead of angry. I'm beyond having to make things right. I've made an effort to be the bigger person. She doesn't desire peace, despite my best efforts to show her respect. She desires authority. Later that evening, the distress was intolerable on the day of the sit-down. The set was intended to resemble a therapy session. A host is seated between two chairs that face each other in dim lighting. Tom was freezing, but Chrissy was the first to arrive. Mother Jones arrived a few minutes later, chin up, avoiding eye contact. The host didn't spend any time. Let's begin at the beginning, she said. This place is full of love, but it's also full of suffering. Mom, why did Chrissy treat you so disrespectfully? Jones. Mama Jones let out a loud sigh. It wasn't only that evening, it has been developing for many years. She doesn't know how to respect boundaries, despite my best efforts to love her. Each and every time I say something, she takes it personally. She attacked me that evening, as if she had forgotten who I was. Chrissy tightened her jaw but said nothing. The host faced her. Your answer, Chrissy. Chrissy gave Mama Jones a direct look. I will always remember who you were. You've always had my regard. Respect, however, does not entail allowing someone to ignore you. You talk about limits, yet for years you've been going over mine. I adore Jim, but I'm sick of being viewed as an outsider. The host gave a nod. Between you two, there is a great deal of hurt. What about the video, though? What actually took place at that precise moment? Mama Jones jumped right in. What took place was that she became enraged, began screaming, and nearly struck me. Chrissy cut in. That's not how you talk to your man's mother. Mama, I didn't hit you. I made no physical contact with you. When I got up, the glass collapsed. However, you've been telling everyone that I attacked you. Mama Jones folded her arms. That's how it appeared. I'm not blind, either. There was an electrifying sense of tension in the room. Jim, who was seated off camera, eventually got to his feet and entered the set. Enough, he firmly declared. This has to stop. You both love me, right? Then quit tearing each other apart. You're both correct in your own ways, but you're also both wrong. Chrissy wiped her eyes and said, you don't understand. Jim, you're my only son. When I see her trying to take control, it feels like I'm losing you. Mama Jones turned away, showing signs of emotion for the first time. Jim sat between them, saying, then stop trying to compete. I need both of you. I can't keep living in this war zone. The host remained silent, allowing the moment's rawness hung thick in the air. And for the first time, Mama Jones softened. She glanced at Chrissy, her voice shaking, and said, maybe I was too hard on you. She glanced at Chrissy, her voice shaking, and said, maybe I was too hard. I just don't trust Eiley, and I don't like feeling replaced. After a long silence, Chrissy said, you're not replaced. You're his mother. You'll always be, but I'm not the enemy. I just want peace. The cameras continued to roll as Mama Jones nodded slowly. All right, then maybe we can start over. It wasn't a complete reconciliation, but it was something. The two women gave each other a quick, awkward embrace that conveys the message. We're not there yet, but we're trying. The program shattered viewing records when it aired weeks later, and fans' emotional responses flooded social media. Others continued to take sides. But one thing was evident. The world had just watched a genuine, real piece of family pain that extended far beyond television. Chrissy went silent on social media after the episode. Media for a while, concentrating on her business endeavors and avoiding the spotlight. Surprisingly, Mama Jones also withdrew from interviews, stating that she needed time to recover. Jim, caught in the middle, stated, family ain't perfect. 2 followers during an Instagram live. At the end of the day, we love each other despite our arguments and fights. That's what counts. Nevertheless, insiders claim that Chrissy and Mama Jones' relationship is still unstable. They occasionally converse, although they're still distant. A cautious equilibrium between pride and tranquility. The world will never forget, though, that night Chrissy Lampkin eventually confronted Mama Jones and made everyone realize the reality of what actually occurs. The reality is that family drama never really goes away behind closed doors. It simply hides behind silent chambers and fake grins until it explodes once more. Mama Jones and Chrissy Lampkin offered the world a close-up look at something unvarnished, poignant, and agonizingly true. You can't dispute one thing, regardless of whether you support Mama Jones or Chrissy. Both women are strong, passionate, and committed to defending Jim in their own unique ways, even if it means tearing them apart. However, this tale may not be over yet. Tensions are still simmering behind the scenes, according to people close to the family. Every day, new boundaries, new secrets, and new arguments are put to the test. The true question is whether this period of tranquility will survive, or if another eruption is imminent. In the world of hip-hop and love, one thing is for sure, calm is short. If you would like, don't blink. If you want to be informed about Chrissy, Jim, and Mama Jones' future developments, because the next chapter could be released at any time. The chapter might drop at any time.